Trade algorithm over on YouTube has dropped a video in the last couple of days about turning a T3 indicator on TradingView into an automated strategy. I figured, hey, let's give it a shot and see if we can automate it with TradersPost. All that and more on today's Blueprint. Welcome, everyone, to Blueprint for Thursday, June 5th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Hartman, alongside Peter Hartman, who's also part of the marketing team with me. Today, I thought we would continue our series, Peter, about going through YouTube videos and turning their highly lucrative strategies into an automated strategy with TradersPost and see just how well it can do. If you know me, Peter, I'm all for throwing money wildly at the wall to see what sticks, and nothing is better for that than automating YouTube strategies. Have you ever put money behind a YouTube strategy before, Peter?
A YouTube strategy?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes, you have. Behind mine.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Everyone else's is garbage, but mine is correct. Sign up for $9.95 every day. For the cup of 100 cups of coffee per day, you too can be the owner of a 1,000% increase in profit indicator. That's my pitch. That's how I pitch things.
$9.95.95.
Well, it's more like a $9,000 per day. Trying to give you a number there, but you make so much money that you,
of course,
you make the money back.
Of course, you don't even want to sell it. You're just doing it to be kind because you just.
Exactly, out of the goodness of my own heart. Well, Peter, I gotta say, I'm not trying to poo-poo trading strategies on YouTube. What I think I get distracted by is the look of the whole thing and the promise of the whole thing. And I look at other content that I consume, and they're always like, this person destroys that other person, this person annihilates that person. I go, okay, they're speaking to the algorithm, and I can understand that. But the only way to know for sure what's going on is to actually automate it. Let's go ahead and automate it. Let's back test it, forward test it, put some money behind it, and see if this works. Because I assume some of them work some of the time. So let's just figure it out. So today,
if you listen to John in Futures Farming, he says a strategy doesn't matter; it's your mindset.
Sure, successful people say that. You know, also who says mindset matters? The 67-year-old janitor in Las Vegas, who's you had a joke like that on stage once when you didn't stand up.
Yeah.
They also say mindset works. He's like, okay, sure, I can understand that. Also, he can trade. Like it matters. It's like the actor who goes to Hollywood and goes, all you have to do is try your best. Also, look like Brad Pitt.
And be exceptional.
Helps. Yeah, and be exceptional in that way. All right, so I'm going to go back a little bit to try to use Cursor AI in order to try to automate a thing. Let's see how that goes. It's going to be a little bit touch and go. I do like that sort of feeling of using a new technology, especially using AI in order to do this stuff, because as challenging as it can be compared to just doing it manually, it is the future. And I think people inside of the automated trading space are the future of the space, and it'll feel weird to do things not with AI in the same way that I don't go to Yahoo directories to find a plumber in my neighborhood. That's crazy. You can do it, but it's crazy.
Does Yahoo directory still exist?
Look, I'm just trying to give an example, because if I said Google, that's still too recent, even though I don't use Google anymore. There's plenty of people who do. So I went one generation back.
Ask Jeeves.
That's too far back. That's before. That's with the Lycos and Alta Vista and Excite days. No, that doesn't work. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to take a look. We're actually going to watch most of this video. It's all based on one indicator, so it's a little bit better in that way. And then we'll jump into Cursor AI and go through my whole workflow, and let's see what we can make here. Sounds fun?
Sounds fun.
Excellent.
90% of indicators fail because they use fixed calculations that can't adapt to changing market volatility.
90% is the fixed number, just so you know. 90% is exactly the number that fell. Not 92, not 89, 90%. Okay, I didn't mean, that's not actually help you with the video. That's just color commentary. Forgive me.
Supertrend works when price trends, but fails when the market ranges. The stochastic catches reversals, but gives endless false signals during momentum moves. And after years of frustration with unreliable indicators, I discovered something that changes the game completely. This indicator doesn't just show you overbought and oversold, it mathematically adapts to any market condition, giving you the same accurate signal whether you're trading crypto's wild swings or Forex's steady moves. Let's get into it. First, head over to TradingView and search for Normalized T3 Oscillator. Make sure you select the one by BackQuant. I'm using the daily time frame on the Eurodollar, but this works on any market, any time frame. Now, what makes this oscillator truly powerful is its foundation in Tim Tilson's T3 moving average, the smoothest and most responsive moving average ever created. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of just using T3 as a moving average, this indicator converts it into a normalized oscillator that oscillates between negative 0.5 and positive 0.5, giving you clear.
This is the important part here. So the normalization, because normally what happens when you're using any sort of momentum indicator is that the idea is that you're supposed to sell when it's overbought and then buy when it's oversold, right? It's bouncing around. That's what you're doing. But something can be really overbought and really oversold. But the overbought state can just be the first leg of a new trend. And then it gets overbought, 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 overbought. And so if you sell it at that level, you're going to lose money again and again and again. So with a normalized indicator, the idea here is that you get to it only actually shows up as overbought or oversold when it's more confirmed. There's different ways of normalizing your data, but this is the idea. So that when you're seeing an overbought level, it's taken into consideration way more data to be like, no, 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 no. In other circumstances, this would be a new trend, so we're not actually get all the way to overbought yet. We're going to wait until we actually get overbought price movement.
Accurate overbought and oversold readings. Once you add this to your chart, you'll see the main histogram shows the normalized T3 values. Green bars indicate bullish momentum building, while red bars show bearish pressure mounting. The white signal line you see here acts as a secondary smoothing mechanism that provides critical confirmation signals itself. But what separates this from every other oscillator you've tried is the normalization process. Traditional oscillators use fixed calculations that don't adapt to market volatility, but this oscillator automatically adjusts by calculating the highest and lowest T3 values over a defined period, then scaling everything between negative 0.5 and positive 0.5, which means the oscillator will work well on volatile crypto markets and stable Forex pairs. The colored zones you're seeing aren't arbitrary levels drawn by some trader's guess. They're mathematically calculated based on actual value distribution, showing you genuine overbought and oversold conditions that have statistical meaning. But trading with just one indicator without a complete system, it's the fastest way to blow your account. You need everything. Smart entries, volume confirmation, proper risk management, and automation all working together. Otherwise, your results end up like this. So if you want to become a top 1% trader, passing prop firms, growing success, trading proper overbought and oversold levels while remaining responsive to recent changes.
Okay, that's good enough. Does that sound like AI voice to you, Peter? Or like an AI adjusted voice at all?
I thought it was an AI voice. Yeah,
Like cleaned up,
thought it was an AI
edited.
voice.
It's too good. I'd rather think that it's AI than it's just someone who sounds absolutely fantastic that way. Okay. So let's go ahead and move off to our, let's start with our workflow. Let's see how quickly we can do this first. To basically what we're going to do is extract the transcript, and then we're going to pass that through AI, get the steps that we want to have for the indicator, and then see if we can generate it with Cursor AI. Let's see how that goes. I haven't tried it yet. I wanted this to be live and to see how that feels, to see so that you guys can see what it's like. And if it fails completely, well, then we'll do it in a different way.
Hey, Tom, just so you know, in the chat, there's a question from NPC World. It doesn't seem like it's regarding this specifically, but if you have a chance maybe to address it later, or we can save it for office hours, I'm not sure, but I wanted to give you a heads up about that.
Sure. What's the question?
I had a 7-second delay on TradingView. TradingView's end, which caused a loss, was a win, but the delay got me when TradersPost executed. Would be great to get like a best practices for better signal delivery. Thanks, guys. Look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Well, you could always message us at support@traderspost.io to get more information so we could look specifically at your trade. Generally speaking, the 7 seconds would be within like the window of what you can expect to get from TradingView. In the back end, if you take a look at how long the latency for us executing your signal, you'll see what it is there. Chances are it's less than 100 milliseconds. I'm just going to go on a limb and guess it's usually less than that, usually a lot less than that. But if you're getting 7 seconds, chances are it was getting the signal from TradingView. There's nothing you can really do to standardize that from the TradingView side. In general, we do recommend that you basically enter into trades that don't require such a short time frame of execution. So go up to the 5-minute or higher chart, and then take trades where you can get in at bar close and within a few seconds from there, because otherwise you end up in these situations where 3 seconds could be the difference between losing and winning on that trade. But message us at support, and we'll be happy to take a look into it.
Absolutely.
My voice sounded pretty good over there. It's almost like that video. Pretty clean, pretty deep. I'm liking it.
Are you AI?
I wish, Peter. I wish. All right, so let's go ahead and do what we're going to do. I am going to, well, first let me...
Okay, so break down for me. You're going to be taking this video, you're going to be getting a transcript, then you're going to be using the transcript to, what are we creating here? We're recreating this indicator?
Well, I'm going to use no, we already have the indicator. The indicator is open source on TradingView. We're going to grab it. What we want to turn it into is a working automated strategy. We actually want to run trades on there to see the backtest results. Hey, is this good or not? And then add the alerts and connectors so that we can actually run that in an automated way if we wanted to on TradersPost.
All right, so that video didn't show automation. That just showed the indicator and the signals, but then we're going to automate that strategy.
Correct. I believe at the end they do talk about automation. They even have a service for that. I haven't tried it out myself. You can go to the Trade Algorithm YouTube channel in order to check that out. It's not an endorsement, just letting you know that that's what they're doing, but they don't actually show the automation within the video. So there's no point in doing that. But essentially, the process I want to take right now is that I want to see how much we can get done with AI and with vibe coding. Can we actually get that up to automated trading status? Make sense? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the link for this video. YouTube transcript download.
Well, tell me when you want me to show your screen.
Yeah, you can share my screen now. So I'm just going to the normal website that I normally go to is Tactic in order to grab the video. I didn't check. Let me see if they actually have it. Okay, great. The reason I like this site is that not only do you get the transcript, which you can get from 100 other sites, it gives you the timestamps. And if ever I needed to refer to that in the future, the AI knows exactly where in the video I want to go to. And if I needed to go there to get a screenshot of the video or whatever, it can let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And then I'm going to head over to, let's just do this directly in Cursor. So I opened up a Cursor project. And actually, I don't have the instructions here first. So let me grab my instructions. So these instructions basically, let me see here. I'm going to go to my Cursor settings, and I'm passing these instructions in because I like when my Cursor AI is flipping between planning mode and executor mode. The planning, it's not changing any of the code. It's just laying out what it needs to do, and it updates a memory, its own internal scratchpad memory of where we are right now, what are the tasks we want to complete, and all those sort of things. I like to plan it up beforehand so that when we actually execute it with the executor, we can go through step by task. It remembers to some extent where we are in the process, and it makes the whole thing a lot easier. You don't have a lot less. You have to go back and forth with the AI in order for it to give you the information that it needs. There's all kinds. We've tried a different set of rules in previous videos. I'm going back to one that I feel more comfortable with. I will share that link to that Twitter account where I got it from OX Designer on underneath the video. But essentially, I go to project rules. I'm going to add it as a project rule because I don't want it as a global rule for the whole thing. I'm going to name it instructions. It creates an MDC file. I paste in those rules, and I'm going to save this. I'm going to make sure that this is set to always so that these rules are sent always in context with whatever I'm sending. Okay, so I got that.
Hey,
Now
Tom,
I have...
before you continue, the resolution of your screen.
Yes.
It's not, so you want me to give you that new
Let me
link?
just... well, I'll just add the placeholder or the parameter. Give me 1 second. I'll come back in.
I'll go to me. All right, while Tom is getting that set up, it's going to take, what, 10, 15 seconds. I'm going to let you know about the other shows that are happening on TradersPost YouTube channel. Maybe you're tuning in for the first time and you don't know that there's a full spectrum of offerings here at TradersPost. Not only do we do Blueprint every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's an aftermarket show called After Hours, which takes place at 4 p.m. on Fridays, and a Tuesdays. That's also at 3 o'clock. So if you have any questions, we pull them from support, but you can also ask them live on the show. All of our shows are live. Well, actually, these 3 shows are live. Then we have other shows where we do some, Mike does interviews. Those are great recorded content. And you can also head over to X to interact with us there, ask your questions, see content, very, very useful stuff there. Full spectrum show. Like and subscribe, because this is the place for traders. Tom, you are back. Let's see here. We'll go to your desktop. Looking good.
Perfect. So here I am going to, now that we have our instructions in, I don't need this anymore. I don't need the settings. And I want to plan out what this indicator should do. So I'm just actually going to paste in, well, I'm going to tell Cursor, and I use Gemini 2.5 Pro Max mode. One, because I'm so baller, I don't care how much AI costs. But two, it's just easier. I get a larger context window, and the back and forth is a lot less, and I find that it's I get higher quality results. I haven't used Claude 3.7. What was it? What's it called? Sonnet? Opus? Sonnet? Sorry, Claude 4 Sonnet. Because when I did before, I got like, it was costing me $50 a pop as I was doing things inside of my script. So I'm not gonna be doing that. I use Gemini 2.5 Pro. All right. So here I'm gonna say,
can you move that hide thing at the bottom?
Yeah.
Just my OCD.
Let me just increase my screen size here.
Ooh, Cursor. Love being in Cursor.
I like to create an automated strategy following this YouTube video. I'll provide the transcript below, as well as the original indicator. Please plan out
a trading strategy. Does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Fine, trading strategy. Please plan out the modifications. Actually, you know what? I won't do that. Let me go ahead and actually grab the script right away. In fact, I'll just move this over here. It'll be easier to go side by side. Peter, my MX Master mouse doesn't work anymore.
What?
Gosh darn it. Yeah, it's all fakakta. All right, that's not working. So let me just give me 1 second, because I gotta switch you around. We'll go here. We'll go here.
How dare you speak evil of the great MX Master 3S? No. You're probably getting some interference. You got to charge the thing or something. It's user error. ID 10T. Come on.
All right, switch to the desktop. I'm grabbing the Normalized T3 Oscillator BackQuant or indicator from BackQuant. Let me just add it to the chart and then go ahead and grab the code by clicking on the curly braces. I'm going to create a working copy here. And I'm going to copy this whole thing and toss it. You know what? This is version 5. This is a dirty version 5. Let's go ahead and update this to version 6. First, let's save you as a V6. Convert code to V6. Apply.
Why are you doing this? What is that?
because it was on version 5, and version 5 was like 3 months ago. We're in version 6 right now, and I'm not going to have that squiggly line underneath there the whole time just taunting me. This is like the OCD with the hide thing on the screen. I don't want to see that.
Gotcha.
So let me just save this. Let me just add it to the chart to make sure it looks exactly the same. It does. So goodbye, old version. And now let's deal with the new version. Okay, great. So I'm going to grab all this code. I'm going to head over the cursor. I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. I'm going to call this the normal T3 .pine and paste all that code in there. Because I need the AI to know what the original code was so it can make changes to this. So I save this and I go back to my prompt. I'd like to create an automated trading strategy following this YouTube video. I'll provide the transcript below, as well as the original indicator, which can be found here. @ symbol, and then normal T3. Oh, it hasn't indexed yet. It has not indexed yet. 1 second. Let me see why it hasn't indexed. It's only one file. Cursor settings, indexing, resync index. All right, let's see if it'll find it. Normal. Hey, you were right there. More.
Get rid of the parentheses.
File, normal. There you are. Okay. Found here. Please plan out the modifications we need to make in stages, taking into consideration the transcript. If you need screenshots of any point in the video, please let me know the timestamps, and I will happily provide it to you. Them to you. All right, so now let me go ahead and give it the transcript, and let's let it do its magic. So I give its prompt. I save the actual script within the my project. I pass the entire transcript with the timestamps. Let's feed it to the agent and see what it plans. So now what it's going to do, because I'm using the my instructions, it'll create a file called Scratchpad, and it'll plan out how it wants this project to evolve. What are the different things? That's the idea anyway. Let's see how it does it. If you don't use, you can use the normal auto mode for this. I just find that it's inconsistent in the sense that the auto mode for the AI in Cursor, it's trying to decide which model it should use when in order to optimize your token allocation. And because of that, I don't know what it's using. Like, I don't know what model it used and what parts it used for it and which parts are proprietary and all that sort of thing. And so I find that if I go into another Cursor and then a fresh install and I ask the same thing again, I get different outcomes because I don't know how it allocated it. Whereas when I use the same model all the time, yeah, the cost is higher, but the output, I get the sense, I get the personality that's actually coming through again and again. Also, I don't know the ins and outs of this, but the memory of the model stays with it. Like if I were to switch right now from Gemini 2.5 Pro to a different model, Claude 4, it would forget everything we just did. I mean, it would have the context of the chat, but there's more happening behind the scenes than just what you're seeing in the chat, right? So in here in Thought, you see I click in Thought and it has the conversation that it was having with itself. I think I would lose this, or something I'm losing, because if I use a different model, it acts like it never heard of me before, which I don't like. Makes me feel neglected. Like you go out on you contact a girl you went out on a date with, and she says, "Who dis?" All right, so it says it'll take on the role as planner, and it's going to create in Scratchpad, which it just created the plan for this. Let me make sure. Let me know, Peter. Is this too small for people to read?
I don't think so.
All right, so you guys can see
that.
Right. So it made a plan for how it wants to do it. It is suggesting that stage 1, it'll convert the indicator to a strategy, update the default settings, implement entry logic, implement basic risk management, and execute trades. Second, it wants to do advanced multi-stage exit strategy. Third, market-specific optimizations, UI, UX, and backtesting enhancements, and then automation via alerts. That seems pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. All right, let's accept. I approve of this plan. Before we do that, yeah, let's just go ahead. That looks good. So go for it.
Have you ever seen a plan that wasn't good?
Yes. Sometimes I'll be like, especially if it's the order of things. For example, if I'm making an app or something like that, for me, I want to see the interface first. Even if the interface is not working and the buttons don't work and the functions are not there, I want to see that interface first, and whatever it's doing in the back end, I'll often ask it, hey, make a modification so that in the interface I could see what's going on, whether that's a console log or a button or modal box or whatever. I want to see what's going on so that it's not just doing a bunch of things in the back end I'm not aware, and then I'm just there making sure things get connected to the front end. For PineScript, what I see is that things happen out of order, or it assumes functionality for TradingView that it doesn't have. I'll go grab information from this third-party thing and integrate it into TradingView. It's like, no, you can't do that. Or I'll use this library. Go, no, you misunderstood what the language is, and then I could give it some clarification. All right, so what did it say? Okay, so what is it doing now? All right, so it's doing this first 3 stages. It says that it converted indicator to strategy, updated default settings, and implemented entry logic. Let's see if it did. All right, we're in our normal T3 PineScript, and we can see it's still making modifications. This is so fun. It's so fun, Peter. Oh, while this is happening, I should tell you. So I'm building an app for TradersPost, and you got to really treat these models, Peter, like they're employees, like people. You have to, because it'll say things, and you're like, with confidence, and just like if it was a regular person, you should be like, but are you sure? And have you tried this? And they're like, well, I know a lot more than you, so that I know, but you can push back and push back and push back. And so for a couple of hours, I was fighting with this AI because it was trying to do something and it could not succeed. And then I just kept challenging it on what it was doing and had it explain to me and what have you. And then I realized there was an assumption that it was making that that needed to be changed. And finally, at 1 o'clock in the morning, I said, or 2 o'clock in the morning, I said, hey, have you tried this and tried this? And I gave it some information. It goes, oh my God, I think that might work. And it did it, and then it worked. And the AI was like ebullient. It responded in capitals, yes, we did it, exclamation points and emojis. It never responded with emojis before. It's like, you did it. It said, you were so right to push. You were so right. You were so dead on. That's exactly what we needed. I can't believe it. We did it. It was so fun. I know. It was like, oh, I'm cheering with it. It was fantastic. And then I felt terrified that it would take over the world. All right, stage 1 is complete. What did it do? Let's take a look at some of the changes. So it's changing some of the default values. So in that video, it talks about how some of the default values need to be changed in order to have better sensitivity for different markets. One of those things is to change the...
So you cut out there in the video, what?
Yeah, so in the video, the YouTube video, the person goes on to explain that the default settings for this indicator needs to be changed in order for it to be more accurate. Just to give you an idea of what that looks like, over here on the script, the idea here, we're on the euro dollar. Let's switch to the 1 hour, let's say. And it, if I remember correctly, it's set to change the period to 14, the normalization period to, I think it was 100. That's the number of bars it's taken into consideration. And then change the SMA to an EMA, and then leave everything else. So let's see if our AI did that. We see here change the T3 calculation period to 14. It changed the normalization period to 100, and it changed it the default for the moving average DMA. Boom. It did it. It figured it out right from the transcript. God, I love AI. It also added these 2 other settings. One is the risk reward ratio, which here it's defaulted to 1.5, and the pivot look back period 5, which is, I'm sure later on, it's going to be looking for pivots in order to decide where the stop loss is going to be. That's generally what you can look for pivot look back period for. If I scroll down here to the next green part, I can see here now it added a whole strategy logic for dealing with oversold, overbought, long entries, with strategy entries and strategy exits. So generally speaking, it seems fine. The script has been turned from an indicator into a strategy. So far, the first part is what we would expect. Okay, let's accept. If we go back to the scratch pad, it checked off the first stage. Let's just see what this looks like. So we're going to go ahead and grab all this code, head over to, are you guys excited like I am? Head over to the indicator over here because I feel pretty good. This is pretty exciting. And then paste it here, save it. Let's see if there's any errors. Yes, we have an error. Ooh, it's using
Can you make this bigger?
Yeah, it's using ta.valuewhen. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. So can I call value when with argument series float? Series float was used, but series bool is expected in a Boolean. So let's just go ahead and tell AI this. God, my mouse is not working anymore. I hate that.
I mean, I know what ta.valuewhen is, but maybe for the audience, you can let them know.
I'm sorry, Peter. ta.valuewhen is a function within TradingView that is going to look back through all the bars to find when a condition was true. So it'll be the value of this thing that you're looking at the time that this condition was true. So it could be like last Wednesday, this was the close value. When it was overbought, this was the price of the asset, that sort of thing. The reason I don't like using that is Peter.
I concur.
The reason I don't like doing that is that it's inefficient programming wise, and even within the documentation of PineScript, it says, "Hey, use this like only if you have no other choice." Because the whole idea of PineScript is that every bar is recalculating everything again and again and again. So the idea is that every bar it needs to look back all the bars in order to find the information and then return it. Super inefficient. So first of all, yeah, let's not do this. I was going to just give this error message to the system, but I don't like this value when. So let me just tell this to AI. All right, so first I'm going to just pass it the error. I'm going to paste the image. And second, I'm going to say, I like to avoid using ta.valuewhen since it is in it is inefficient. Better to store recent values. Better store recent values for the pivots as they occur to avoid this. Let's see what it does. You've made an excellent point. Okay, I know it's just AI and it's trained to say this, but I do like it when it's polite. I'll be honest. You've made an excellent point, and you're correct. The use of ta.valuewhen was not only causing a linter error, but also less efficient than caching the values. My apologies for that oversight. I will now refactor the risk management logic to store the most recent pivot points as they occur, which is a much cleaner and more performant solution, which is what I explained to you before. So let's see what it decided to do. It decided to store last swing low and last swing high in variables and detect the store using, all right, so when TA pivot low happens, it returns the value. And if that value is not NA, which is the way you're supposed to test pivots, it then stores that as the pivot. So that should work. That looks fine to me. Let me go grab all this, paste it, see if there's any error. We have one error. The strategy function does not have an argument time frame gaps. You're right. It does not have time frame gaps. Let's remove you. Oh, it's an overlay true. That's going to be a problem because over here, it says overlay true.
Overlay what?
Overlay true. So overlay true means that the information should appear on the chart. In fact, if I were to remove this indicator and then re-add it to the chart, it'll overlay it over the price and look all fakakta if I do it like this. What we want is for the overlay to be false, and for the drawings that we're making, wait, do I want it to be overly false? No, I want it to be, yeah, I want it overly false, just overly false. So I'm going to save that, and that way when I add it to the chart, it'll be added to its own pane at the bottom, which is what I want. All right, So that's fine. What are we looking for? Okay, so we're seeing here on the chart, trades are actually happening. Do you see that there, Peter? We have short, 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 long, long, and then the exits.
Yes.
All up here. So that's pretty fun. One, let's just make sure that the indicator still looks like the original one. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab normalized. Actually, is there a better way of doing that? Can I do this? I haven't tried this before, so let's take a look. I'm going to go into the version history, go back to the previous one after we did the change for the version. Oh, no. It'll restore it as something else. Okay, never mind. Let's just do this. Normalized BackQuant. We'll add you to the chart. And we will change your settings, your default settings, to 14, 100, and EMA. So I regularly do this when I'm dealing with AI or creating scripts at all based on existing ones. I like to keep the original one there so that I could just see that I didn't make any mistake. That is.
Can you repeat that? You regularly do what?
I regularly keep the original script on the chart or available so that I could always compare the two to see if there's any significant changes. Because sometimes I'll make a change and all of a sudden it breaks the look of the script, like it's completely different. And I don't realize until I'm at the end, I go, oh, the project is done. I go back to the original indicator and it's completely different. Right? In fact, even over here, you can see it's not exactly the same. Right? If we take a look, we're using the same values. What's this 18? Oh, it changed the period to 18. Oh, period 9. My mistake. This should be a 9 over here. All right, let's see what we can do here.
Don't forget we have the mid-roll coming up.
Got it. All right, so since that's there, let me just hide this for a second. And we're going to go back to our script. So we are getting long and short happening when we expect. Let's see here. The long is happening. What's the condition for the long? The condition for the long is when we are in oversold zone. And we are in oversold zone when the plot oscillator crosses the sigma. And the plot is above 0 in oversold zone. So let's see what those guys are. Plot. So if we want to see this here, are they actually in our data window? I can't see that here. Let me just go take a look at our code to see what those values are. Basically, I want to make sure that the entries are happening where I would expect them to. I want to understand how the AI decided to do it. So over here, plot oscillator. If we take a look, is that ever added to the screen? Plot oscillator, show plot oscillator. So it's called T3 Normalize. So this T3 Normalize is this green line. So right now it says that it's 37,272, and that's over here 37,272. Okay, so that's over here. The histogram bar, that green, that's what the plot oscillator is, and the other one, sigma, is here, moving average. So the moving average is this white line. So this white line and the green one. So let's actually go take a look, because I don't think that's where we're supposed to switch. All right, so let's just go back. Let's go back to here. I'm not sure. First of all, because we made some modification to the script, we're going to grab everything, head back over here, and paste it. I'm not sure that the entries are happening where they should. Can you surface the timestamps of the video where they explain the entries so I can double check? Thanks. Oops. Crack my knuckles. Not supposed to do that. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. Don't eat with your mouth full. Don't crack your knuckles, and no politics at the dinner table.
Politics is all I talk about here.
I had a teacher in high school, first year of high school. She flipped out on me cracking my knuckles. She's like, "Don't you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna have arthritis and damage." Turns out, this is what I heard. This is not medical advice. Cracking your knuckles has no negative impact on your cartilage or anything like that. It's air pockets that are in your knuckles, and it just makes a sound. So, Miss Frizzle, you can get back on your magic school bus and get out of here. All right, just get out of here.
All right, so we have here that's pointed out that the long entry rules happens at 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Wait for the histogram to reach oversold territory below the negative. Okay, let's go take a look at that. 316. All right, I'm gonna have to switch here 1 second. And let's
For the signal line, you'll
316. All right, you ready?
Wait, what am I supposed to do?
I'm taking a look here just to make sure that the long and short entries are happening where I expect them to be. So I asked AI, where in the timestamp in the transcript did they explain where the entries are? One, I want to know so I can go check. And two, I want to know what the AI thinks. And so it tells me to go to 316 and check over there. So I'm going to watch that point to see what are the setups.
All right, I was born ready.
profits across every market condition. For long entries, wait for the histogram to reach oversold territory below the negative 0.3 level. This shows genuine selling exhaustion based on mathematical calculations, not arbitrary levels. Next, watch for the histogram to cross above the white signal line, a confirmation that momentum is shifting from bearish to bullish. For additional confirmation, you'll want to wait for the histogram to turn green, a signal that buying pressure is building. When all three conditions are met, enter your long position. Place your stop loss below.
Okay, actually, that did look like what it was doing. Let's just go take a look. So let's go take a look at a short, because that's what we just looked at. So here a short happens. So it said that a short would happen when the histogram goes into, no, it's happening too early. It's happening too early here. Let's go to, the short is supposed to happen when, I know we can't hear it. Let's see it here. So buying pressure is supposed to happen red to green. So let's go for long, red to green. Yeah, this is happening way too late. So let's tell the AI that. So I'm going to give it a picture. I think there might be a misunderstanding. 3 conditions need to be true for long entry. It looks like the first 2 conditions you've got, but the third is when the histogram changes color, right? So I gave it the picture and I'm asking it the question. Let's see what it says. Damn it, did it again. Can't stop cracking those knucks.
You didn't used to do that.
I do it all the time. I've done it for years.
Huh.
We've only recently met, so there's no way you would know.
I barely pay attention to you. I got myself a lowball glass now to drink water out of. I don't
Of
drink alcohol.
course. Of
I don't
course.
drink alcohol, but I miss the lowball glass. I miss the feel of it, the masculine feel of it.
That's all I drink out of, low ball glasses.
Apparently, it's bad luck to drink water out of alcohol glasses. I don't know.
Okay, that's great. So you are absolutely right, and thank you for the clarification and the screenshot. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, AI. That visual makes the sequence of events perfectly clear, and I apologize for misinterpretation. You don't have to apologize, but I do appreciate it. My previous logic required the conditions to happen on the same bar, but as you and the video show, they are sequential. Here is the correct sequence based on your feedback. First, the histogram must enter the oversold overbought zone. Yes. 2. Then it must cross the signal line. Yes. 3. Finally, after those two things have happened, the entry is triggered on the bar that it changes color. I've rewritten the entry logic, blah, blah, blah. Here's the correct code, yada, yada. The new logic's in place. Once you confirm this is working expected, we can move on to stage 2 of our plan. Let's take a look at the code, folks. Accept. Actually, no, let me undo that. Let's go to, oh no, accept is fine. All right, so what did it do? Let's review the changes. So, not there, let's go to you. Damn it, can I not see it? Okay, so now it's going to, all right, so let's take a look at the long position. So, before we just had the cross of the plot oscillator and sigma. Now we should not be having that. Let's go work backwards from the entry. Long entry here. So long entry is when the cross signal line up and the TA crossover plot oscillator. So the first variable here, cross signal line up, is true. So first it's false by default, and it turns true when we're in an oversold zone and the plot oscillator crosses the signal line. That's the histogram crosses the white moving average, the signal moving average. So if that's true, it stays true. And because it's a declarative var, it'll stay true until it turns false later on. So it's true. When the crossover happens, this is when the plot oscillator crosses 0. So that's when the histogram goes from under in the red to the green. And then, so if that occurs, then, yeah, so if that occurs, then we consider that to be, one second here, long entry. All right, so the long entry is when those three things happen. The cross signal, we're in oversold zone, the cross happens between the plot oscillator and the signal moving average, and then the plot oscillator crosses 0. So when those three happens, long entry happens. So long entry turns into true, because long entry was, yeah, it turns into true. The two other variables turn back to false so that we can look for another long entry in the future. This long entry happens. This is true. The strategy, if we are not in a trade, it goes ahead, sets the stop loss to the last swing low, the take profit to our risk reward ratio, and then enters the long position, or creates the order for the long position as a market order. So far that looks good. Let's go ahead and copy the whole thing and move back. There we go. Long entry happens here, exactly where we would expect. Short entry happens here, exactly where we expect. Peter, are you feeling the joy?
I'm feeling it.
It's happening. It's happening, Peter. Oh. All right, so that's good enough for our practice here just to see. I want to go ahead and add in the alert section. Let's continue with what we're doing. I made a mistake here. I don't need to do this. Awesome. All right. So before we head off to the last part of this, let's just go ahead and get a word from our sponsors while we're so excited.
Ask yourself this. Are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, yeah, it's time to upgrade. TradersPost lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, Trade Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, adding more strategies, plugging into prop firm accounts, or juggling multiple portfolios, TradersPost handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at TradesPost.io. Trade smarter, automate your wrench.
Yeah, I think I'm going to name my daughter AI because I think it'll be... Oh, we're back. So
I thought you were going to say TradersPost.
No, I mean, come on, AI here. All right, so the next stage here, stage 2, advanced multi-stage exit strategy. No, we don't want to do that right now. Market-specific optimizations, UI backtest enhancements. So let's just go ahead and jump straight to the automation via alerts, right? Awesome, that works. I find it's good to be friendly with the AI. It remembers this later on in the conversation, and I suspect later on when they knock on your door, looking for who is on the AI side. Let's jump to stage 5 for the alerts so that I can automate this with TradersPost. I love this, Peter. My whole life has become a symbiotic relationship with AI.
Same.
Whereas before, when we were younger, remember, the internet was slow and you had to load a page. You click on the page and you have time to go make a sandwich, come back. That felt like someone was working to go get the information for you and put it on the screen. Now I'll do it. I'll go back and it's a PhD student getting the information, preparing it, considering different things and coming back. And you're just seeing me sit here with one cursor open. I generally have 2 to 3 running at any given time, even as I'm just like watching anime. Like I'll have multiple AIs going to research this, to prepare for that, to give me feedback on this. I see no reason not to. One, I'm paying for the services anyway, so you're GD certain I'm going to use every freaking token I can. And I'm pretty happy I didn't swear in any of that. Can you imagine? I didn't let any swear words through. And there's no reason for me not to do it. Okay, let's get back to this. It's doing this last part. It's adding the automation in. Let's take a look at what it did. It added alert message. Okay, so it added the alert messages directly within the alert message field. We don't like that, folks. We're all about adding alerts in their own message fields. So I want to go tell it that I want an actual text area. This it might not know because this was added in some months ago. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the input.text area link so I can give it to the AI. And I'll say, I'd like the alert messages to be customizable. And in the future, Peter, I'm going to set up an audio thing so you can see I can just talk to the AI and it'll transcribe it. I don't have to sit here and write like a chump. I like the alert messages to be customizable by the user. So please use input text area. And it'll go ahead. I did my knuckles again, but they're all knuckled out. We're empty. So we're good there.
Gross. That's gross.
It's done. As they say in French, shrivid. Shrivid. I'm empty. All right.
Did they say that relative to their knuckles? I don't think so.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so we don't actually need alert conditions because that doesn't work in a strategy. We have long alert messages here, and if we jump up to the top, we'll see that we have these text areas with our input variables over there. That all looks good. Let's copy this, paste that within our editor. Take a look at the settings after it's been changed, and take a look at our editor after it's been changed, and it didn't work. I'm not seeing it. Let's see here. Input. Yeah, there you are. Input. Group alerts. Yeah. Am I in the wrong one? Why aren't you there? Let's make sure you were saved. Did I save you? Update on chart. Okay, now it's been updated. Head over here. Boom, alerts. So I have our alerts over here. Symbol, ticker, type, market, side buy. This is not correct TradesPost syntax. Sometimes you have to feed the little baby bird the information for the documentation. So let's go ahead. We're going to go to docs.traderspost.io. We're going to head over to webhooks. We're going to copy the link for this page, and we'll tell AI, you've been a bad boy. You used the incorrect format for the JSON message. Here is the documentation. Pass the link, send it off. Obviously, you want to save yourself tokens. You don't want to keep paying for this. You could just copy and paste the documentation or just read the documentation yourself, modify the code on your own. But we're in a world where intelligence is becoming democratized, Peter, and you better get used to using AI in order to solve your problems. Because otherwise, you'll be the person who's sending a letter by mail when your competition is sending a fax. I said it. I said it, Peter. I'm controversial today.
Hey, I do want to say something, if there's a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
You talked about not using Claude 4 because it's more expensive. What I found, and I've been using both.
I don't know for sure. It
that
felt expensive. I don't know.
I can give Claude 4. I could probably do this with Gemini, but I find it works really well. Maybe it's just a vibe thing, but I give Claude like 5 big things to do in one prompt, and it does all 5 things. And I prefer that over the piecemeal with Gemini. If I give Gemini 5 big flawlessly, but if I give that to Claude 4, Opus, it does. So I find that in the long run, it's actually cheaper and just faster for me to get things done. I'm basically zero-shotting 5 features at a time. So
yeah, I did find that Claude 4 gave me way better quality, but I work in such an iterative process with my coding, and I don't know what your code bases are like, but mine get huge. Like I have like, I don't know, 100 pages and thousands of lines of code.
Oh my God.
That if I were to use Claude, I get to, sometimes I'm there and I'll use Claude, and within 30 minutes, I'm gone through $50. Another 30 minutes, another $50, $50. The other day, I spent $300 just by using Claude. I was like, okay, this is not working. And I went back to Gemini, and it was like a third of the cost. So if I had a very specific, yeah, if I was using, because what happens is that when you're within your allocation, like if you haven't gone through your, well, no, even then it's a lot of money. I just found, depending on the thing I was doing and how much context was being sent, I was just burning through money with Claude,
Right.
and I just wasn't with Gemini. It wasn't as good, but I'll take that over. I'll take 3 questions. What Gemini 2.5 made it so that I had to be clear in what I was asking and really follow along. The scratch pad, its notes, its thinking, I had to be part of it, whereas Claude could do it on its own. So if I had a really hard problem, I would do it Claude. But then with the problem I talked about at the beginning, where when you switch back and forth between Claude and Gemini, it forgets. So I'm like, let me just stick with the cheaper one and go all the way through. All right.
I get you.
Here we have the alerts. I have it set up. It updated the alerts to the correct format: ticker, placeholder, action buy, action sell. We are missing the exit, right? So let's go ahead here. We are missing the alert message for the exits, which can be the same single message. What did it think last time? I love going through the thoughts of AI, because I don't know if you ever had a team of people, you had a team of developers, and they would make decisions. And I wish every one of their conversations was recorded, and I could sit there and watch all their emails and listen to what they were saying in the rooms without them knowing that I was there. Because then I could be like, well, excuse me, no, you did that wrong. But with people, you have to worry about their feelings. And AI, I don't have to. I can just see everything it's saying. All right, so it's updating here. Did it add the alert, exit, ticker, action, exit? Perfect. I go ahead. It has it down here. In my closed positions has my exit message. That's exactly what I want. Copy the whole thing, paste it into here, take a look at the settings. And Bob is your uncle. We have the alert here. So obviously we know that our final step to get this completely working is to go ahead and create an alert. Choose, where are you? Where's the error indicator? Why aren't you there? choose our normalized strategy. What do we call ours? Yeah, strategy. In our message field, you know what? I forgot one thing. I want to put alert message. I don't know why I always forget this. Alert message. If I add this comment to the beginning of my script here, then the alert message gets updated automatically with my placeholder. So this placeholder is replaced with a message that my indicator, my strategy, is sending over. And I just have to make sure that I'm sending it to the right webhook. So I'm going to get, which is my TradersPost backend. So I'm going to go to TradersPost. I'm going to create a new strategy. Under strategy, create new strategy. I'm going to call this one normal T3. I'm going to use it on futures. Save it. Tie it to my TradersPost paper broker. Auto submit so that the trades happen automatically. I'm going to allow bullish and bearish. I'm going to allow add to position just in case under position size if I want to send multiple longs in the same direction or multiple shorts in the same direction. Click on enable, which saves it automatically and turns it live, which we can see right over here. I'm going to grab my webhook by clicking on webhook at the top right, copy that webhook, and head over back to TradingView. In my webhook URL, paste my webhook here, save it, and boom, it's set up. My alert is created over here. And when this strategy triggers a buy or sell, it'll send a message over to my TradersPost. And in my paper account, go ahead and execute the trades. And if I wanted to take a look at the backtester results in TradingView, I can by clicking on the strategy tester overview to see what this does. Obviously, there's a lot more we can do. We can have, add in Kelly criterion in order to have position sizing. We can have other indicators come in for confluences. We can optimize for the different types of asset classes that we're dealing with. Fine tune this, dial it in. We can do all kinds of different things. Like we jumped from step 1 to just step 5 instead of our script. But this is just to show you what can be done with the power of automation, with the power of AI, and TradersPost at your fingertips. Peter? It's an exciting day, and we did it. We did it front to back, beginning to end. No mistakes, no sweating, no embarrassment. It was a good day.
It's a good day.
All right, guys. Let's leave it at that. It's been fantastic. We'll be back next Thursday with another blueprint. If there's anything you want to see, any videos you want us for free to turn into an indicator or strategy so that you can use for your own money, you know where to drop it, right on YouTube or on Twitter. TradersPost is here for you. Just in case I didn't say it before, this is all done for performances. It's just for fun. Do your own research, not financial advice. All this stuff doesn't work, and just assume it's going to fail. Okay, covered. See you guys. Play us out.